Hi, my name's Adam. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about 5 things you need to do 5 years before you retire. So 5 things that so many people forget about, they don't think about, they hit retirement, and it might be too late to do these things. So we want to give you these 5 tips. Hopefully it'll help walk you into retirement a bit more smoothly. If you're already in retirement, or if you're, 15 or 20 or 25 years away from retirement, some of these things are still good to implement even if you're too late or it's really early. So ideally 5 years before retirement, but it can go either way. Before I jump into this video, I just want to give a very big thank you to all the forest firefighters out there. We spent the last 10 days at vacationing in Okanagan as a family, in Osoyoos and Kelowna, and about half, if not more, of half our vacation was in pretty dense smoke. A lot of forest fires out there, and there's so many men and women that are fighting these forest fires on our behalf, and thank you to those people that are out there fighting these, because trust me, we've driven past a few of them. They are intense. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to our forest firefighters out there. Thank you for all the hard work that you do. So the first thing you need to do leading up to retirement, ideally about 3 to 5 years before retirement, is to make sure that you have a personal email address. Okay, and this may seem pretty dumb, it may not make a whole lot of sense, but if you hit retirement and all you've been using to that point is a work email address, you're going to run into issues. And I came across this firsthand while I was on vacation. So my mother-in-law and father-in-law recently retired in the last few months, and they plan to do a lot of traveling over the next few years, both locally, but a lot of overseas into the US, that kind of thing. They went to renew their Nexus. Okay. The problem was both of them used a work email address for their Nexus over the past X amount of years. So one of them, my mother-in-law, forgot her password. So to reset her password, it had to go to her email address, but it went to an old work email address that's no longer valid. So make sure you set up a personal email address that's not attached to your work. Okay, it could be Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever it is. Just make sure that you have an email not connected to a work email that you start rolling out for all the main websites that you use. Okay, so make sure you start transitioning any password or any website that you log in with your work that's not work related. Make sure you roll that over to your personal email address over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That'll help you in retirement, because at this point my mother-in-law can't renew her Nexus. She's having a bunch of trouble with it. As you can imagine, phoning them gets you nowhere. So they might have to delay some of their trips just because she didn't have a personal email address. So, and I know this happens to so many of you watching this video. So hopefully this helps you if you're leading up to retirement. Make sure to have a personal email address that you start using for all those websites. A second tip leading up to retirement that will really help pave the way for you into retirement is to make sure you have an updated will and power of attorney. And not just will and power of attorney, but a list of assets, where they are, who they're going to go to. Make sure your executor knows who they are. A lot of times we run into people, they create a will and they say, my executor is so-and-so, but they don't tell that person. Make sure that you tell your executor, what their job is, where they can find everything, have a list of assets. We'll put a link below as well to willful.co, and we have a 20% off coupon there. It's just a straight coupon to you guys. There's no kickback for us. It's not an affiliate coupon code. If you need to do a will and you're comfortable doing an online will, Willful is a great spot to do that. So again, we'll put the link below. That can help you out, just get things back on track there. Very affordable. Again, you do it all online. You can sign it online, all that. So it's very simple to do. But make sure that you have all your affairs in order. Okay, so leading up to retirement, make sure that, again, list of assets, your will, your power of attorney, and make sure your executor or people close to you know where everything is. If you have a safety deposit box somewhere, make sure someone knows about that. Okay, if you have gold stashed somewhere, make sure someone knows about that. We hear crazy stories of assets coming up later on in life that the executor didn't know about. So make sure you have a list where the executor can find it, passwords. Again, digital property is becoming much more valuable. So make sure that you have logins, or someone has a login to, your social media accounts, anywhere there might be a value or an asset to, make sure that's out there for them. Tip number 3 is more financial related, really help, build some wealth leading into retirement, is if you have a defined benefit plan, which I know so many of you don't have, but a lot of you watching our videos, because you contact us to become a client, you have defined benefit plans. Now, if you have a defined benefit plan, a lot of them, the payout when you retire is based on your best 5 years. Okay, so if you're kind of coming up to retirement, if you have an opportunity to get a promotion where there's a pay raise, think about doing that. It may not be the best position for you, but for short-term gain, if you can bump those last 5 years of income and really boost your pension. We've had clients do it. I've had family members do it. My mom did it personally. And it really helped them in retirement, just boost that pension income. So think about that. If you don't have a defined benefit plan, your last 5 years leading into retirement are usually your highest earning income years, okay? So make sure if you're in a high tax bracket to take advantage of any RRSP room, okay? I get a lot of pushback and comments on YouTube here that talk about, well, leading into retirement, why would I put money into an RSP if I'm just going to pull it out right away? Well, if you're in a 40% tax bracket, right, and you put money into your RSP, you're getting 40 cents back on the dollar. You can then take that and reinvest it into an RSP, into your TFSA, whatever it may be. But it's a nice tax break at 40%. Okay, fast forward 5 years, you retire, you may be falling into a 20, maybe 30 on the high end, but probably 20 to 25% tax bracket. Okay, so you put it in 40% tax break, you're taking it out at a 20% tax rate. Okay, so that's a nice spread in there. So if you're in a high tax bracket, it's still worth it to maximize your RSP heading into retirement, and that'll really boost your savings and ability to draw income when you retire. The fourth tip heading into retirement, about 5 years out, you want to start looking at your healthcare plan at work, what benefits you have, and what work you think you're going to need done over the next 3 to 5 years. Okay, so if you need some major dental work done, maybe you have a great plan at work that will cover a lot of that cost. My in-laws, I know I've mentioned them a few times in this video, but they got Invisalign done. So again, they had good work plans. They got Invisalign done on their teeth just to straighten out their teeth 5 years before retirement. And, it was covered fully on their plan. So take a look at your healthcare plan at work if you have one. Look at the benefits that are available to you and make sure that you utilize those benefits before you retire. Because once you hit retirement, it's a lot more difficult to take advantage of any plans, right? You may not even have a plan when you retire. Some employers do allow you to continue on with your current plan. There's different maximums and coverage and costs and all that. So it may or may not be worth it for you. But leading up to retirement, make sure that you get all the work done that you need to get done so that, it's covered under your current healthcare plan versus having to pay for it out of pocket in the first few years of retirement. And the fifth tip for you as you lead up to retirement, so this is the fifth thing that you need to do for 5 years ideally before you retire, is to make sure you have a clear income plan for retirement. And why this is so important is as you get closer to retirement, you want to make sure that where you're putting your savings line up where you need to pull out your savings. Okay, so this needs to coordinate with each other. You can't just save, hit retirement, and then where am I going to get the income from? Okay, it needs to come together and really mesh together. So the last 5 years is a great time to make sure that you're allocating funds in the right accounts, whether it's a TFSA, RSP, maybe it's paying down your mortgage because you want to be debt free by retirement, but it needs to also line up with what your retirement income plan is. Okay, so I guess part of that is you need to have a retirement income plan, get that in place. If you don't have one, sit down with your financial planner or hire a financial planner to put one together for you so that coming up to retirement, you've been putting money in the right spots so that when you hit retirement, you have very tax efficient income. You've been maximizing, RSP benefits and that kind of thing up to retirement, and then are drawing everything out in the lowest tax rate possible. So again, make sure you have an income plan for retirement, and the last 5 years of contributions need to make sure they line up. And one thing that we find is in the last 5 to 10 years before retirement, we find that many of you are mortgage free. Okay, you pay off your mortgage maybe 50, 55, or even late 50s. And those last few years are really the gravy years where you're taking not just your regular savings that you've been doing, but your mortgage payments as well. Okay, so once you add that, you're saving a whole lot of money, and where you need to save it can drastically change. So make sure that you have a clear plan in place and that those funds are being allocated to the right pocket so that when you come to retirement, they're coming out efficiently. So there's the 5 tips we have for you, 5 years leading up to retirement. Make sure you take action on all 5 of these. They will help you lead into retirement much more smoothly, avoid hopefully a few hiccups along the way. So thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for dealing with my raspy voice from all the smoke in the Okanagan. And thanks again to all you forest firefighters out there for fighting those fires and working so hard in the blistering heat. So thank you.